Welcome to the Cloudsea, a young realm created by the nameless wolf. When Wolf slept, her dreams became clouds that populated all of the world before other living things were born. Wolf slept until she brought Hawk into the world, so that they could hunt in the light. And so Wolf slept every 10 days of 40, when she would disappear from the night sky, and it would be dark for 10 days. In the dark, Hair appeared and created the land and creatures, and she took the name of Hazel. Every 10 days of darkness, more clouds would be turned by Hair into land, while Wolf slept. Usually, the land would be insignificant and small islands. The few major collections of land were divided between the horns of Striegand the Owl, which stood in the distant east, shrouded by the nocturnal axis of Wolf's body, that the followers of the owl could always live in the always dark. The nests of Mac the Sparrow, which made up the lands of the civilized people, and the burrow mounds of Monax the Groundhog, whose people built great works. Yeah, we're going to be looking at the island of Timbershire, which is the home of the Wood Elves and the High Elves. So the Wood Elves live in the forest mostly. The High Elves either live in that tower or the beach. And Kami is most likely going to be playing as a Wood Elf. And the Wood Elves live in the Forest of Elfenwood, which I also have some lore to read.
This art is phenomenal.
Right? Gotta thank Midjourney for that. So I have some stuff regarding Wood Elves. So the Wood Elves were born of trees. The Wood Elves of the Cloudsea did not migrate from Faerun or elsewhere like the other varieties of elf, save for maybe a handful of exceptions. Instead, they have a creation story. When Hazel the Hare created the Elfenwood, at the center of the wood, which was already established by magical trees that migrated to the Cloudsea from other planes, she seeded the elfin oaks over the bodies of elder elves who chose to depart the realm of the living. The resulting tree will birth Fey fruit, which grow into infant wood elves. The Elfenwood was established 500 years ago, and the first Fey fruit grew into elves 450 years ago. For a period of a couple of years, the elfin oaks still live, but have never grown fruit a second time. Younger wood elves are born when a daddy elf and a mommy elf fall in love. So these are the wood elves. The wood elves live in the Elfenwood of Timbershire, which is basically a really cool forest with lots of magical trees and plants and stuff. There's a mommy elf and a daddy elf here. And then we have the high elves, which are a little more regal, erudite even. But essentially, they're the same idea. They're also highly attuned to nature. They have some kind of kinship with the forest, but instead of choosing to live directly in the forest, they build big fancy homes and towers. And they established a village called Beechwood on the beach of Timbershire. There's a lot of wood elements here. Okay, so from there, we're going to go to character creation. We're going to use Roll20's Charactermancer plugin, which unfortunately some stuff we'll have to homebrew and plug in manually, which isn't awful. So race, I think we'll have to plug in manual. Yeah, they don't let you choose a sub race, so we'll do a custom race, which is going to be Wood Elf.
This is a little bit enlarged on here. Did you want to...
Yeah, unfortunately that's kind of what I have to do. Actually, maybe I can stretch it a little bit more, but... Actually, you know what? Whatever. We're just going to deal with it.
Well, I guess the focus is on the part we're at, so that's nice.
Yeah. So I'll just bring up my notes for Wood Elves.
Now, is there like a base? Is there like a base stats, or do you roll for those things, or is it something?
So what we're getting into first here, when you basically where the tab that says abilities, that's the part where you'll roll your stats. For race, you get some racial bonuses right off the bat. So, for example, if you look at the description on the right here, it's like every race increases one or more of a character's ability scores.
Okay.
So for elf, it is dex normally, but if you're picking a sub race, so you actually get a little bit extra. In this case, your dex will go up by 2 and wisdom will go up by 1.
Do you find yourself generally picking multiple races, or do you like to stick with one?
Picking multiple races is tricky too. Like, you would have to be like half elf or something.
Am I making this way too complicated for myself?
Well, not necessarily. You could go as half elf, but you're not going to get all the same bonuses.
Yeah.
Really, for the class you picked, Wood Elf is pretty much ideal because Ranger can benefit from both Wisdom and Dex increase, which you're getting as a Wood Elf. If you were to play a half elf, I mean, you can even do like half elf, half orc if you wanted to, but generally half elf, half human.
Yeah.
And you would lose you'd gain some other abilities, but lose some at the same time. So your racial bonuses are +2 dex and +1 wisdom, which is pretty good. Pretty much all of the starting classes starting races I chose have some pretty cool features like that. Now you have to choose alignment. You're going to be either lawful good, neutral good, chaotic good, lawful neutral, true neutral, or chaotic neutral. Something to keep in mind is what the likely alignment of your race and class would be, which I don't think Ranger really has any restrictions as far as I know. Like, maybe they'd err away from lawful because they're not part of society really. They're part of their own society, and I would say, like, whether they're good or neutral, it's pretty much up to however you want to play it.
Yeah. My first instinct would be to be chaotic good. That would be the first thing my mind would go towards.
Okay.
That'd be most of my decision making in the campaign, cool. I feel like.
Then we'll go with that for now anyways. Creature type is going to be humanoid, which is pretty much everybody.
Because I always play, the choice, like when I play role-playing games, when I'm playing a choice of the game with good or evil, I have a hard time doing evil choices.
Yeah, I know, same.
But it's all at the same time. It's like I don't like to follow the rules. I got to do my own style of doing it. But I never noticed myself going the path of evil initially. Like, I have to force myself to do that, and sometimes it's even hard for me to do that.
Yeah, totally get that. Speed. That's basically how many feet you can move per turn. So you're going to get proficiency in longsword, short bow, and longbow.
Oh, good.
So, well...
That's another thing. I always notice myself tend to be more melee whenever I play any sort of game, too. I'm intrigued by magic style things, but I just never find myself instinctually going towards it.
Yeah.
It makes more sense to me, personally.
I'm the same, too. Like, especially in a game like this that requires so much micromanaging, I actually prefer not to play magic, even though the magic is typically more fun. You get to blow things up, and people like burning the world down.
As we see by Divinity.
Yep. So you get longsword, short sword.
And you don't even need magic to do that.
Also, I forgot, this system includes languages as proficiencies. So you do get a few languages for being a wood elf. Wood elves can speak, read, and write in Common and Elvish. Elvish is fluid with subtle intonations and intricate grammar. Even Elven literature is rich and varied, and their songs and poems are famous among other races. Many bards learn their language so they can add Elvish ballads to their repertoires. I forgot, Wood Elves actually get a bonus to walking speed. Oh. They actually get 35 feet per second.
There's that ADHD bonus right there.
Yep. So you do get a little bit more, and I don't think you get anything else. Let me just check real quick.
Is that kind of like the classic, like Elvish are able to move very quickly in like the air in many situations? Is that
yeah, with some of it for sure. Like, I think actually, sorry, you do get some skill proficiencies. Let me see if I can find these real quick.
I mean, since I've never played this before, and since I don't know anything about it, I'm just drawing all the things I've read from Tolkien's books.
Yeah, for sure. So you do get one skill proficiency, which is perception.
Ooh.
So that means you're more aware of your surroundings, basically.
I really like that. I feel like I chose correctly for what I would like in this.
Custom race features. You have quite a few, actually. You have dark vision. So I'll read that out real quickly. Accustomed to twilight forests and the night sky, you have superior vision in dark and dim conditions. You can see in dim light within 60 feet of you as if it were bright light, and in darkness as if it were dim light. You can't discern color in darkness, only shades of gray. So yeah, elves have really good eyesight. Who knew? You also have Fey ancestry as a racial feat. You have advantage on saving throws against being charmed, and magic can't put you to sleep. So quick thing there, elves don't sleep. When you rest, you go into a trance where you're basically meditating and it refreshes your mind.
So I really did pick correctly.
Yeah. And elves only have to go into trance for 4 hours to be fully refreshed, which I'm kind of jealous of.
Yeah. I'm just going to drink my coffee over here and wish for that.
Then you also get Mask of the Wild. So Mask of the Wild, you can attempt to hide even when you are only lightly obscured by foliage, heavy rain, falling snow, mist, and other natural phenomena. So those are the base skills a wood elf gets in the Forgotten Realms. But this is the Cloudsea, so you get more.
Oh.
Basically, I put in some core races to the campaign that are kind of OP, so now I had to balance everything else out with some cooler features. So changes in the Cloudsea to Mask of the Wild. It's particularly potent among the Cloudsea's wood elf population, with their kind being able to be completely obscured by trees specifically. In a way, their ability to hide in trees can be compared to seamlessly melting into the bark or leaves of trees. Only a critical stealth failure or opposing critical success can reveal the wood elf who hides in trees. Additionally, wood elves in the Cloudsea will gain Speak with Plants as an inherent passive ability, akin to a free language. The only downside is they have to spend a moment to adjust their mind to the drastically different mental state from speaking with creatures. They have to block out creature languages to converse with plants as a result. Quick spell description of Speak with Plants, because it's based off of a spell called Speak with Plants. So Speak with Plants, time is 1 action, so something that if you were in a turn, it wouldn't be a full action, but it would be part of your turn.
Is a turn 1 action, or do you get multiple actions?
You do get multiple actions per turn, but they're different kind of actions too. Okay. There's like movement action, action, and bonus actions.
Okay.
The range is within a 30-foot radius of yourself, because it's your ability to speak to things. Target plants within 30 feet of you. Basically, you imbue plants within 30 feet of you with limited sentience and animation, giving them the ability to communicate with you and follow your simple commands. You can question plants about events in the spell's area within the past day, gaining information about creatures that have passed, weather, or other circumstances. You can also turn difficult terrain caused by plant growth, such as thickets and undergrowth, into ordinary terrain that lasts for the duration. Or you can turn ordinary terrain where plants are present into difficult terrain that lasts for the duration, causing vines and branches to hinder pursuers, for example. Plants might be able to perform other tasks on your behalf at the GM's discretion. The spell doesn't enable plants to uproot themselves and move about, but they can freely move branches, tendrils, and stalks. If a plant creature is in the area, you can communicate with it as if you shared a common language, but you gain no magical ability to influence it. This spell can cause the plants created by Entangle spell to release a restrained creature, which could be useful if you find anything that has that ability. And lastly, I added some extra flavor for the campaign. Speaking with plants in the Elfenwood is particularly useful, as the magical trees migrated from the Feywild include trees such as Lorebark and Moonmist trees, as well as the Elfin Oak. So we're just going to throw Speak with Plants as the other feature you can talk to plants within 30 feet.
I quite like that. That's a wonderful trait to have.
Yeah, pretty cool.
That's very cool.
But basically all of the classes, I gave them some cool abilities.
Yeah.
Or sorry, all of the races, I gave them some cool abilities. Skill proficiencies. Basically, you can choose any skill from the list. Here, let me lower it here a little bit so you can read. So skills, you choose 3 from animal handling, athletics, insight, investigation, nature, perception, stealth, and survival. And you'll actually be getting a few from background as well.
Yeah.
If there's a situation where you double up, we'll just overwrite it and let you choose another proficiency.
Okay.
But
should I pick right now?
Yep.
With my first round, survival should be the first thing I should pick.
Yeah.
That would be wise. I mean, that's what I would normally pick on anything anyway. And probably stealth, survival, and...
Okay, so just to explain survival real quickly, that's like finding food in the wild, like packing a bedroll, stuff like that, or camping, I guess.
Okay, yeah.
Like stuff like that, like surviving in the wild, basically.
Okay.
But it's a good skill to have, especially as a ranger, because a lot of your stuff will kind of synergize with that anyways.
I feel like the animal handling would go well with the wood elf. I feel like that. I mean, or is that just kind of a waste because it already is in tune with nature so much? Or that just add to the intensity?
No, I think it would go well. Basically, animal handling. That's like if you came across a horse or something, you could ride the horse, or a vicious dog, you might be able to subdue it. Like I would say, insight is really good. Survival. I mean, they're all really good. Investigation is good if you're going to be doing want to search dungeons and such, or like look around for hints for puzzles.
I feel like I mean, obviously there's going to be battles, but I feel like more focusing on exploring for my first time might be good.
Okay.
So maybe insight, investigation, and survival would be, or maybe actually stealth would be good too. So I mean,
nature could be good too, because that's like almost like a knowledge kind of a knowledge check. Like if let's say you came across a bush and you're picking berries.
Well, actually, because I already have stealth in a way with unless it's just trees and whatnot, but maybe insight, investigation, and nature could be a nice little package.
Yeah, maybe not double up on the stealth, because you pretty much get it as a free ability.
And if I already have perception as well,
yeah.
So I think I should stick with insight, investigation, and nature.
Or did you want nature or survival?
What would you recommend? The survival, like I said initially, trying to keep myself alive is a goal of just trying to survive this world. So I feel like maybe starting off that might be wise to have.
The meta of me says some other people might pick survival, but I prefer survival also. So if I was saying what I think is going to be more useful on a personal level, it would be survival. But in a party aspect, I would think nature, because survival is one of the things that people tend to pick. Yeah. In my experience. So that's something to consider. But I like survival better, but nature would probably be more synergistic with the party.
Well, I should not think of just myself in this. So let's do insight, investigation, and nature.
Okay, perfect. So put a check mark next to each of those. So favorite enemy. Beginning at first level, you have significant experience studying, tracking, hunting, and even talking to a certain type of enemy. Choose a type of favorite enemy. Aberrations, beasts, celestials, construct, dragons, elementals, fae, fiends, giants, monstrosities, oozes, plants, or undead.
So this is who I'm best against, I take it?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I recommended, based on the campaign setting, you're going to want to do either fiends, elementals, or beasts. And I can explain a bit about what each of those are.
Could you? Okay. Yeah.
So fiends are basically evil things like devils, demons, imps, stuff from the Forgotten Realms version of hell, basically.
Okay.
Are native to fiendish planes. So, I mean, even a tiefling is like half fiend. So you would get some kind of advantage on that. Elementals are creatures from the elemental planes of earth, fire, water, and wind, or /air. So genie would be an example of those, but also in this instance, one of the core races of the game is the bird folk. They're called Aarakocra, and they actually came originally from the plane of air. So that would be an example of something that's not a genie that came from that plane, or gargoyles come from the plane of earth. Just basically stuff with an elemental vibe, I guess. Beasts are pretty much animals that you come across. There's a few like more magical style beasts too, like hellhounds. Well, hellhounds are actually from the fiendish areas, but they're not fiends, so there is a little bit of overlap. But yeah, like I think even stuff like dinosaurs would count as beasts, rather.
Okay, yeah.
Or a boar would be a beast. So wild animals, I guess.
So which would you recommend for this one again?
I would say for this campaign, fiends, elementals, or beasts would be useful, and I won't elaborate more on that.
Well, it's like it's in my head. It's like I want to say maybe like elementals because they seem a little bit stronger and more mysterious or more magical, so that might be good to have a defense against that. But also in my head, beasts would probably be more common and more consistent.
Yep.
So it's like, should I choose to be better against a common barrage?
And I will also add, so down here you can see one of the features. When you gain this feature, you also learn one language of your choice that is spoken by your favorite enemies, if they speak one at all. Beasts don't have a language,
I think
so that's something you would lean out on.
That seems like a good thing to be good against. I mean, that seems like that could a lot of problems could come with them.
Something also cool if you pick elemental, they basically have one language. I mean, I guess fiends do too in a sense, but the elementals basically have one language with 4 dialects, or they're really more like accents.
Yeah,
their language is based off of the elements that correspond to them. So there's like an air language, an earth language, a fire language, and a water language. And the only difference between them is the accent. So the water one sounds watery. The fire one burns with passion or some bullshit like that. The Orin one, that's the air one. Orin is breathy. So anyway.
I also feel like, so I learned those languages?
You learn one of them.
One of them,
which in this instance you would actually learn all of them.
I feel like I should, I feel like that kind of suits in with the whole wood elf is. In at least what I picture.
Yeah. So, okay. So do you want to choose the earth, water, air, or fire one?
That's a tough choice. I feel like a wood elf being with like the life would be water, I suppose.
Actually, you know what? We can roll for this.
Yes, that was a great idea.
Because you have insight. So let's start rolling. And if you do a decent roll, I'll give you a hint. So you're going to roll a d20.
My first roll, man. This is exciting.
So +2 to whatever you roll. And the DC is 15. Oh my god, you got a 13. Holy shit. You were just rolling an insight check. The DC was 15. That's what you have to roll to beat it.
Yeah.
You have insight, so you get +2 to that. Basically, you've succeeded on the roll.
Hey.
Perfectly.
Amazing.
Quality checks are always good. Exactly. So that, what you just rolled, is an insight check.
Okay.
So whenever you roll a skill check, that's what it's called, a skill check.
Yeah.
Something like that happens. So in this instance, you recall that one of the denizens of the Cloudsea, the bird folk who go by the name of Aarakocra, speak the language of Orin, which is one of the elemental languages.
Is that the language of air?
It is.
So I should stick with that. I should be an airbender.
Yeah. So you're going to take Orin, I guess.
And where do I pull that out of here?
Put it on that section as well.
How do I spell that correctly?
Oh, sorry. Auran.
A-U-R-A-N. It is plus Orin?
Yeah.
I'll put language next to that so I remember.
And sorry, there's some more stuff we forgot to add
I'm right
as well.
Sure, it's smaller.
Yeah, I was thinking of mentioning something, but
That's right, I can do it.
it's fine. So next, you'll also get some more weapon proficiency with simple weapons and martial weapons, which pretty much overtakes the other proficiencies you get. They're included in those. But nevertheless, multiple points of failure. Then you also gain some armor proficiencies. You can wear light and medium armor and wield a shield.
Okay, give me 1 second. Just making more room in here.
Yeah, no problem.
Okay, so one more time.
So, are you still on martial and simple, or
No,
okay? You got that.
Yeah.
Light armor and medium armor and shields.
You know, funny thing in this modern age, I'm sitting here thinking, when was the last time I actually wrote something down?
Yeah, no kidding, eh?
It's kind of nice to write something again.
Sorry, I meant
School of Dungeons and Dragons.
I meant to cover this all when we were looking at skill proficiency, but then I forgot. So saving throws, you're also going to get strength and dex. So in this section up here, you'll just put a tick on strength and dex. So something else about favorite enemy. You have advantage on wisdom survival checks to track your favorite enemies, as well as on intelligence checks to recall information about them. So, actually, I did an insight roll, but it could have been a survival check, which you would have had advantage on anyways. But I'll have to remember that for next time. You also get Natural Explorer at level 1. Which you are. You are particularly familiar with one type of natural environment and are adept at traveling and surviving in such regions. Choose one type of favored terrain: Arctic, coast, desert, forest, grassland, mountain, swamp, or the Underdark. When you make an intelligence or wisdom check related to your favored terrain, your proficiency bonus is doubled if you are using a skill that you're proficient in. While traveling for an hour or more in your favorite terrain, you gain the following benefits. Difficult terrain doesn't slow your group's travel. Your group can't become lost by magical means. Even when you are engaged in another activity while traveling, such as foraging, navigating, or tracking, you remain alert to danger. If you are traveling alone, you can move stealthily at a normal pace, which is pretty sweet.
That's awesome. So I take it when you're moving stealthily, you're going at a crawl's pace. Normally.
Yeah, pretty much. When you forage, you find twice as much food as you normally would, and while tracking other creatures, you also learn their exact numbers, their sizes, and how long ago they passed through the area. Pretty badass. So the choices again are Arctic, coast, desert, forest, grassland, mountain, swamp, or the Underdark.
Now, should I just try to stay on the theme and go forest, or do I already have a skills in the forest, and should I just try to add to my what I'm able to navigate in?
Yeah, I mean, it could go either way.
Should I just like min-max this and just go all forest?
I feel like at a certain point, there's too much of a good thing.
That's true. You're right. Yeah, I should try to expand my. Okay, well, I feel like. Well, actually, there's gonna be a lot of coastal areas. So I feel like that might be a really good idea.
Yeah, that could be very helpful. I will say grassland. When I think of grassland, I don't think of difficult terrain either, so you'd almost kind of be losing out.
No, yeah,
if you chose that.
Yeah, I mean that's just flat, windy areas. Yeah. The mountains are tough areas, so that might be something very good to be favored in. You know what? Just out of the difficulty that mountains can be, I feel like I should put points into that.
Okay. So we'll choose mountain.
But then again, coast is there's so many islands. I mean,
Yeah, that is true. There are also mountains, though.
I'll mess with the
To
mountains,
refer
because
back to the
mountains are
mount.
scary and dangerous places. So I feel
Okay.
like it might be good to have that.
Then you get starting equipment. I think you actually have to choose between these. Yeah, so we can skip that for now. Because
Can I start with the master key, please?
Okay. Now
Which
we
is
finally get to roll.
Ooh.
So this is the way rolling works. Basically, you will roll 4d6s and you throw the lowest one away. And you add the 3 numbers up. And that is 1 stat. And you'll do that 6 times. And you can redo the lowest one.
6?
So that is a really good roll.
I can redo that one?
No, that's a throwaway.
Okay, so 6, 11, 16. Did you just put the total or the individuals?
The total.
16.
So now
Oh.
you roll again.
10, 14.
Sorry, 13. The one's a throwaway.
Oh, right, 13.
Okay, that's a good roll too.
Oh, geez.
That one we'll redo.
Oh, what is it?
6.
It still counts, man.
Nah.
I mean, it still counts.
It's a 6 anyways. There you go.
Okay, so get rid of the 4. So, okay.
Damn. 16.
Wait, one more?
These are some really good rolls. Just for reference, I rolled an NPC character and he got like 4 stats below 10.
I don't even know where this one went. I need to reroll it.
Oh yeah, re-roll that one. Anything that falls off, re-roll it.
There's the shitty roll.
Yeah, so that's probably going to end up being a do-over, but
Why so?
3 and 6 because it's bad. 9, you get 1 do-over, but you can write it down anyways. 9, 6 stats, 6 rolls.
These are going everywhere.
See, I say the fallen rolls are interference, so that's a good roll too. 8 plus 5, 13. This is why dice mat is a good investment.
We can use mixing bowls.
Jeez, 13. And 1 more roll as a do-over for your 9. Oh. I don't even like looking at these.
Yeah, right?
Ones.
Okay.
Or maybe roll on the mouse pad. There we go. 5, 5, 3, 13.
So that's in place of the 9?
Yeah.
That's not too bad, eh?
That is pretty good. So now...
16, 13, 16, 13, 13, 13. That's pretty consistent.
Yeah. So now... Basically, you'll choose if you're going to be a dex or a strength player. I would say, based on the skills you have, dex makes more sense.
I think so.
So usually you put your highest stat into
And that's
that.
Where's these going?
Oh, sorry. So that will be added on to the plus 2. Yeah. But keep the plus 2 in brackets.
Do I put it in the little tiny one?
No, that's gonna be another number as well.
Okay. No, let's make everything smaller. I didn't realize. Okay, so.
Yeah, I didn't want to interrupt and
Oh, that's alright.
have you redo everything.
No, doing it over.
Because I knew you were gonna redo it eventually anyways. Yeah.
Anyways, okay, so dexterity, I'm gonna put a 16 in. Then add the plus 2 in brackets. Okay.
Then wisdom will be your next highest, which is also your class's spellcasting stat.
So plus 1.
Yep.
Okay.
16 plus 1. Cool. Then the rest is pretty much how you want to do it.
13 for the rest of them?
I would say con... Are all the rest of them 13?
Yeah.
Oh shit, yeah, so it doesn't even matter.
Dang, that's some consistent rolls.
Yeah.
That's weird. I'm worried for the game. I feel like I rolled so good just now that I'm gonna roll nothing but 1s and 0s.
Background. So for this one, like let's look at Hermit just for starters. The Life of Seclusion roll. Next, there's personality traits, flaws, ideal, bond. The life of seclusion one is a little bit extra. Let's read these over just a little bit. Like, you're probably going to pick hermit, but just in case you want to pick any other backstory, we can always tap out. So,
I mean, I don't even know where to start. There were so many of them.
Yeah, I know, there's a lot. So a hermit overview. You lived in seclusion, either in a sheltered community such as a monastery, or entirely alone for a formative part of your life. In your time apart from the clamor of society, you found quiet, solitude, and perhaps some of the answers you were looking for. You will gain skill proficiencies in medicine and religion, which you can put check marks next to.
Put a check mark next to religion. That bugs me. Okay, so next to religion?
Yeah, and medicine. Then tool proficiencies, you gain herbalism, proficiency in herbalism kit, which I don't know what it is, so I'll just open it in a tab.
Okay.
And you also gain one language of your choice. Another language.
Slovak. I need to learn that one.
Yeah. So you can choose a language from one of the other Cloudsea races, or you can choose like a race from a likely enemy, or let me just think real quick. Let's see what abilities you have here and see if you can roll for a hint. I mean, you could do a insight or religion check for this if you want to.
Sure.
Do you have a preference?
Insight.
Okay. That is definitely better.
I will rarely choose religion.
So we'll say the DC for that is 15.
Okay.
I mean, if you fail this, you could always roll for religion too.
Oh.
So the DC is 15. So this is probably going to be a failure, but...
Major failure. Now for the religion one?
Yeah. Or, oh wait, hold on. Well, that succeeds anyways, but if you want to re-roll the last one,
sure.
That one was for religion, because you get
you always get re-rolled, or?
No, just... I'm doing this as part of your...
nice to me?
I'm doing this as part of your favored enemy.
Okay.
So that's success.
Yeah.
Okay, so you got success on both insight and religion. So okay. Through your knowledge of your favorite enemy, elemental, you're also aware that the Aarakocra have their own language on top of speaking Orin. There's an Aarakocra language. For your religion check, you know that the deities of the Cloudsea protect against evil forces. So perhaps knowing an evil language would be helpful. Something like Infernal or Abyssal.
I think so. Choose between those two?
Yeah, or Aarakocra. Or you could just go totally out of left field and choose something like Goblin.
Well, you already gave me a favor, so I want to ask for another recommendation. But the Aarakocra seem to be coming up a lot, so I feel like it might be good to know that language.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it could be good to know those. You already do know Orin, which they all know.
So it's a fraction of what they speak.
So it would be like doubling up on languages they speak.
So, just out of thoughts out of nowhere, would say the Abyss one.
Yeah, Abyssal.
Abyssal, yeah.
Okay, you can write that down under languages, which is there. You're racking up a lot of languages, which is fair. Usually people do, and then they just pick throwaway languages. And then you get some free equipment.
Hey.
A scroll case stuffed full of notes from your studies. Or you can even just put a scroll case stuffed full of notes. A winter blanket.
Oh. I mean, that's handy to have.
Yeah. A set of common clothes.
Common clothes?
Yeah. an herbalism kit. And 5 GP, which is the currency.
Nice.
You got 5G over here, man.
Yeah.
5GP?
Yeah. But we'll rename the currency to something Cloudsea specific at some point.
Maka?
Yeah, something like that. 'Cause I hate using the same currency for every universe. And there's like silver and copper and Ethereum, whatever. So life of seclusion. What was the reason for your isolation, and what changed to allow you to end your solitude? You can work with your DM to determine the exact nature of your seclusion, or you can choose or roll on the table below to determine the reason behind your seclusion. So yeah, this is just a suggestion, really. You can do whatever you want. You don't have to think up your backstory. If you want to go deeper into it, we can do it like over text or whatever.
Well, I seem to be very well versed in languages. I feel like a hermit in the life of studies in academia kind of disappeared. I went off into the dark side of studying and kind of ignoring the rest of humanity. Well, not humanity, but elven kind, I suppose.
Okay, so we can go with that.
I like the retreat from society after life-altering events. Maybe witnessing something dark out amongst in the world. Maybe want to study and learn languages and retreat from it until I came back to fight it later in life or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, we could do that one. I mean, you can also just... You can build on this too, like hammer it down more. You don't have to just...
I like that one the most.
Generically, yeah. Okay.
More than anything.
So that one, just write it, leave space to write more, because you can fill it out as you go along, but you will choose that. Yeah.
I think it's my sober person life is really making me like that one calling out to me.
I feel like people who play D&D a lot are more likely to do the randomizing RPing
just been
thing.
Done
yeah.
With that.
Yeah, and they might get into a point where they're like, I just want to try something I wouldn't normally try, you know, because I want to RP, which is...
You think a little bit differently outside of what you normally pick.
Yeah, for sure. Other hermits. This hermit background assumes a contemplative sort of seclusion that allows room for study and prayer. If you want to play a rugged wilderness recluse who lives off the land while shunning the company of other people, look at Outlander. I mean, we can look at that if you want, but I feel like feature, discovery, the quiet seclusion of your extended hermitage, or hermitage, I don't know how to pronounce that, but gave you access to a unique and powerful discovery. The exact nature of this revelation depends on the nature of your seclusion. It might be a great truth about the cosmos, the deities, the powerful beings of the outer planes, or the force of nature. It could be a sight that no one else has ever seen. You might have uncovered a fact that has long been forgotten, or unearthed some relic of the past that could rewrite history. It might be information that would be damaging to the people who or consigned you to exile, and hence the reason for your return to society. If you want to think more on that, or if you have an idea of what discovery you want to take, like you're pretty much unlimited in what it is. Like, obviously for some things it would have to fit into the setting, like if it was something deity related.
Unearthed some relic the past that could rewrite history is kind of compelling.
Unearthed some relic of the past that could rewrite history. Okay, we'll just scribble relic,
because I feel like that kind of goes along with the studies too. It can make you want to disappear and spend a life in digging through scrolls and digging through all of the writings to find out some sort of more information on it.
Yeah, you know what? Let's make it an evil artifact.
Oh,
because evil doesn't exist on the Cloudsea yet.
Oh, so that's interesting. Where did this come from? If there was no evil, why is this here? Was there evil before?
Yeah, exactly.
What caused the evil to disappear? What is going on in this place?
Yeah, so that, I feel like that is a discovery which would have you return to society. But granted, the islands are very small, so even though you're separated from society, you aren't that far. Like, I think the scale of the island you're on is like...
It's more a mental state, you know?
Yeah. I think it's like... I think the island you're on is like 15 to 20 kilometers across.
Okay.
Or maybe even less. I can't remember.
Well, if anyone's going to do it,
yeah.
An elf that can hide in trees perfectly would be the...
Yeah, but I mean, and even then, though, 15 to 20 kilometers...
Not much.
But it can be a lot. Like, you can get pretty far from society.
That's true, yeah.
Like, a town is probably not going to be that long of a space, right? So it would be easy to be... And there's... Oh, sorry, there's also no... There's no farming on the Cloudsea. People can get by just foraging. There's like an abundance of variety of foodstuffs.
I feel like everyone coming from not humanoids, but the animals that were the deities, I feel like that makes sense with that.
Yeah.
Everyone just forages. They don't till the earth.
Yep, for sure. Okay, let's go back to...
That means there's no ginger beer.
Back to that.
But there might be ginger.
Oh my god, ginger's so good.
So,
It's really good.
remember I had all those images of windmills? I was like, how, if they don't have farming, how do they have mills? And I just decided, you know what? They still mill grain, but the grain just grows wildly. There's just not a lot of people and a lot of foodstuffs. So
You go like...
they just pick wild grass and mill it into grains. Why not? So, hermit origins. Any number of personal choices or ill-fated circumstances might have led you to turn away from society. You may, if you want, choose or roll an origin event from the Hermit Origins table. Let me just see. So you can roll for this if you want. You don't have to. You can roll or choose one of these if you want. Or you don't have to choose anything at all. You don't have to have an origin story for this. It's just if an event caused you to...
I feel like I should roll.
To become out. Yeah, you want to randomize it?
Yeah. I like this.
Okay, do it up. So you got a 4. You tend to be...
Like
well, whatever.
An arrow.
You tend to some part of the city's forgotten history. Well, in this case, it's not a city. We'll say it's a town. The unmarked graves in Cliffside Cemetery, the crumbling remains of dead patriarch families, or a collection of religious texts stuffed into an attic and forgotten when a believer's patron deity died. In solitary work, you've learned secrets no one else knows. So let's copy that.
I feel like it tracks. It seems to be getting very knowledge-based.
Oh, for sure. In this solitary work, you've learned secrets no one else knew.
Obviously, this is my first experience with Dungeons and Dragons, and I feel like kind of going back to the origins and writing things down and not fully digital is a good way to do it. I feel better about that.
Oh, for sure. And this will be something you can take with you, too.
You can put study in my handwriting as one of my skills. This is exciting. I quite like I'm really enjoying this backstory. This is
That's
really
really
cool.
coming together.
Yeah. Yeah, in previous editions, you just came up with a backstory independent. That you didn't gain stuff from it.
Yeah.
But this is a feature they added to 5th edition.
I feel like it adds a lot more to it, though.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Like, I actually like
Otherwise,
this.
the story is just a story. This is like affecting the outcome of things.
Yeah. It's just, you get so many skills in 5th edition. It's kind of cool. And then I added more on top of that.
Which edition did you start on?
3.5, which is the Gods edition, basically. Sorry, let's move on to the next thing. The background thing is huge. Personality traits. If you want to, you can roll for this too. Wait, how many are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. For traits, you choose 2, actually. So you can either roll or choose 2 that you like.
I should roll.
Okay.
Look at the first one.
That's definitely not me. Okay, so well, how am I going to roll this one? I mean,
roll an 8, which is... Where's my case? The 8 is... Where is it? Right here.
I didn't want to have to do it over, though, because that's just so unlike me. 7.
7. I often get lost in my own thoughts and contemplation, becoming oblivious to my surroundings.
Oh, that doesn't track at all with anything we're talking about.
It's a pretty good one. These will come into play, like, basically, this is a cool feature because I feel like if you play along with these characteristics, I'll give you bonus XP, like if you RP it really well.
I like that because I can't be completely like just proficient at everything. I feel like this is a nice negative, negative addition to me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Making me more rounded as a
and this isn't. We're not even into flaws yet.
Oh, I'll really excel there. That's gonna be where I really take off and shine.
So roll again.
5.
5 is. I'm oblivious to etiquette and social expectations.
That tracks. That's
a good one. So that there's actually a section for.
I'm already in this. I should write this down.
There's a. Oh, sorry. First page. These two are going to be under personality traits.
Okay.
Which, interestingly enough, get their own section.
So I write. Okay, I'm oblivious to.
That's a pretty good one.
I do like that one. It fits with the chaotic good. I feel like these are also track with the hermit person as well, though.
Oh yeah, well, all of these traits are hermit related.
Okay,
yeah,
you're right. We're okay.
How long has it been?
So ideals, I would say for this one you don't want to roll for because it's based on alignment.
Oh yeah.
Probably either want to choose that or chaotic. Or, I mean, you could do any as well, but maybe just read those over. Or, I mean, you could still roll for it, and we could just make 1 to 2 good. 3 and 4 could be chaotic, and 5 and 6 could be any. Or you could just pick whichever.
I like the greater good one. That one's really nice.
Okay.
But I feel, should I roll? I mean, we're already rolling already. I mean, what do you think?
Yeah, you know what? Let's roll for it.
Yeah.
Those are pretty good. All pretty good flavor. 4, so that was the chaotic one. Free thinking. Inquiry and curiosity are the pillars to progress.
Okay. So, ideals. Well, that goes into study too, so there we go.
You're becoming very contemplative of a ranger. If you know yourself, there's nothing left to know. I think that one would have been pretty fun. It's like very against the rest of your stuff. Bonds. If you continue to roll, then it'll be very interesting.
Let's just should we just keep rolling?
Yeah.
See what you got.
So roll a d6.
Okay, where's the? Oh, that's just okay. 6, of course, regular. 5. Should my discovery come to light, it could bring ruin to the world. That's the tracks.
Man, that actually fits really well with the evil artifact.
It does.
Interesting, that's a bond. I'm trying to understand what that is.
Well, it's a bond as a hermit. It's more like what would get you to stop being a hermit.
I feel like I discovered an ancient cell phone, and it's just gonna bring ruin to the world.
Flaws is the really good one.
Ooh.
That's
I'll just
what
take
I like.
all of them.
When I play a character, I like to go deep into flaws. So roll a 6 for that as well. 5. Damn, lots of 5s. I'd risk too much to uncover a lost bit of knowledge.
That fits. I like it.
So yeah, let's say there's a room full of enemies that you can't fight.
We're going for it.
And there's a book in the middle. You'll just walk right up and snatch it. And I think that's it for background.
I like it. I really like my backstory.
Very interesting.
So you get scale mail or leather armor. Honestly, I feel like leather armor makes more sense for a ranger, but If you want scale mail, you can have it.
Is that like dragons or something?
No, it's like kind of like plated armor, almost like.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Or like rivets or whatever. No,
leather,
rivet,
yeah. Fits more.
Okay. I don't think you can cast your spells with scale mail anyway, but I'll have to check all that out.
Okay, so this goes in here. What about these little things right here, or just in the...
Oh yeah, so...
There'd be no room to write there.
Sorry.
So leather right here. Equipment.
Yeah, leather armor. Any simple weapon or short sword. So you get to choose 2 of any weapon or short sword. So this is the list. Club, dagger, great club, hand axe, javelin, light hammer, mace, quarterstaff, sickle, spear, short sword. So you get 2 of either of those.
Oh.
And I can read them again if you want. Club, dagger, great club, hand axe, javelin, light hammer, mace, quarterstaff, sickle, spear, short sword.
I like the sickle and dagger.
Yeah, you want to do that?
The sickle, actually, that's kind of like a death look, isn't it?
Yeah, I've never heard of Great Club.
I believe you can find that in
Blighttown.
Blighttown, yeah. That's exactly what I was looking for.
So you want to go dagger?
Yeah, I want to do dagger.
And one more.
Let's do the scythe.
Okay.
Or sickle, rather.
Sickle.
Can I do the Zweihander for the longsword?
You can probably find one at some point.
Okay, so
just not right off the bat.
Dagger. I feel like the dagger is for quick stabs, and the sickle is for styles.
Yeah.
Is the sickle a bad choice?
I don't know. I don't think so. I'm just trying to see if they say what is in a Dungeoneers pack or Explorer pack. Well, in any case, you get to choose one of them. But
I'm second guessing the sickle.
Yeah, you can switch it if you want.
It just seems so. It just feels like it would be so irritating to carry that around.
How are you going to attack with? Well, I mean, you just succeed in a roll, but.
Well, yeah, I'm going to pick something else.
You could cut some grass.
Yeah, no, that takes my mind out of it's too out of the character for my character, and I feel like it takes me out of it.
Do you want me to read the list again?
Yes, please.
Okay. Club, club, great club, hand axe, javelin, light hammer, mace, quarterstaff, spear, short sword.
Let's do hand axe.
Hand axe. Cool. Yeah, Dungeoneers pack would probably make more sense for that. And also, if you go to a dungeon and you find a well or something, you could climb down it with the pitons or whatever. I never learned this word. So
yeah, I've never heard of
Dungeoneering pack it is. You can just write that down in your items on the next page. Then spells. You don't get any yet. The arcane is a mystery to you. Feats. A feat represents an accomplishment, grit, determination, and expertise. It is the reward for hard work. You haven't really done that much yet. You're level 1. Bio. Okay.
Get good.
So, have you thought about age at all?
Let's do like young 20. Well, no, actually, no. That's way too young for an elf.
Yeah, 100 is considered maturity. However, they reach adulthood, like physical adulthood, at the same rate as humans. But then they
125.
keep learning. 125.
That is my arbitrary number.
Okay. Any thoughts for what height you want to be?
Well, I'll be taller than myself for once. So let's do 6'1".
6'1".
Is that too high for an elf? Is that out of realm of elves?
That's pretty high, but it's not too unusual.
No,
I mean,
let's do 5'9" then.
Okay.
Let's.
I mean,
be realistic to the world.
5'9" is, I would say, still above average, but it's a good height.
More realistic.
Yeah.
In And there's okay.
Like they're generally smaller than humans, but close to the same size.
Okay, well let's just stick with that then. Or
yeah. I mean, there's going to be a variance, right? You could be 6'1", like it's possible.
Yeah. Okay. Well, let's. I want to go more into like the realities of the world. Okay. So let's do 5'3".
5'3", cool. That's like drow height. That's cool. So weight, they have a slender build, so that's something to keep in mind. Like you could possibly be an overweight elf.
I don't want to be an overweight elf,
but it's unrealistic. They're not a doughty or hedonistic race.
Yeah, no, not at all. What would I live off Lambert's bread? You know, yeah. What would 5'3" weight be? I don't even know what that would be.
I would say probably
like 98.
Yeah. No, not that light, because you're still gonna have muscle is the thing. So I would say maybe 120. No, 110 to 120.
Okay, let's just do
120. Yeah, lower than 120 is pretty unrealistic, I think.
All right, let's do 119. 120.
Okay, we could do 119.
119.
I mean, doesn't make a difference. Eyes. Did you want to use that picture we came up with?
Yes, I really like that picture. It was really nice.
Okay, so let's reference that real quickly. Yeah, it looks like green eyes and brown hair. I would say he has tanned skin.
Yeah.
Or lightly tanned, which tracks with a ranger, to be honest. Okay. Oh, sorry. Have you had any thought on name?
Oh, no.
No, not at all?
Not yet.
We'll leave it blank. You don't have a name. So, as you're approaching the Elfenwood settlement, where your fellow wood elves have set up their village, for lack of a better term, a young wood elf, actually like a teenager, which, to remind you, even adult wood elves are not really seen as adult until they pass age 100. A young elf in his teens approaches you and hands you a sealed letter. What do you do?
I feel like I'm a very inquisitive person, so I feel like I with a very stoic look would ask where this person comes from and who this letter is from.
Look, Mr. Ranger, sir, I was just told to hand this letter to all the citizens of Timbershire.
I take the letter with a very, very curious look and still trying to press on where this person came from.
I just live right over there.
I opened the letter to see what this information says.
The letter reads, "Greetings, potential adventurer. It is with great honor that I, Kaerel Zillaru, the humblest of servants of the Hare, invite you to the centennial celebration of Windswept Island. Your local ferry services will be providing complimentary trips to and from Windswept Town, at the expense of the Nature and Goodness Preservation Society. It may come as no surprise to you that this centennial is a particularly special one, as no landmass of major significance has been formed from the Wolf's dreams since Windswept Island came into being almost 100 years ago on the morrow. It has, however, come to our attention that the Wolf dreams are particularly potent this cycle, and the Hare has been hard at work preparing a landmass the likes of which have never been seen on the Cloudsea, a new untamed wilderness of sorts. This new wilderness will be special, unspoiled land of vast resources for all sentient creatures. However, it has occurred to we at the Nature and Goodness Preservation Society that this vast land will require a new breed of adventurer to explore and tame its immeasurable expanse. For the betterment of all the Cloudsea peoples, and this is where you come in, we extend our invitation to all would-be explorers to join us in Windswept's centennial celebration, where people from across the Cloudsea will eagerly await the coming into existence of the new wilderness as the wolf wakes. In Clouds and Dreams, Karel Dream Petal Zillaru, first seat of the Nature and Goodness Preservation Society. Addendum: adventurers with their own means of travel are asked to use the provided ferry services, as there will be no space at Windswept Port for private vessels. Citizens with wings capable of flight are of course cautioned to only undertake flying a safe distance. And you pocket the letter, and that's where the session ends.
Yeah, so good.
He has a nickname?
Dream Petal. So yeah, that's the start to the Chronicles of the Cloudsea. Just transition to the exact same picture.
Now I'm picturing it as like I'm 125 and it's been about 100 years, so it's like I was too young to really appreciate when those things were happening.
Yeah, you were.
I was a child. I was just a baby.
Exactly.
And now I get to experience this new landmass for the first time. This is very exciting.
It is exciting. And with that, we will close up the stream, and we'll be back. I don't know when, but we will be back. Bye-bye.
Night, everyone.